Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is DARYL GUBERMAN. Today is a totally different video in any video that I've ever done before. Much of my videos go into quality certification. The culprits in quality certification, like ANSI, ANAP, American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board, where if you have a certificate from them, you have to scratch your head. That's all I'm going to say. Today is a very important video. I sat around a table this past weekend and some friends of mine who I know said, "Daryl, you should tell the story about how you made it into the Mr. America." This video today is about DARYL GUBERMAN discusses his life up to the Mr. America. So many people that I have come in contact with during my almost 46 years of working out are dead now because of steroid use. We have just a few handful of people who have made it into success who did drugs, who finally admitted to taking steroids or some other drugs. And we have one of them that everybody knows and everybody loves is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold, dear old Arnold. I've been following Arnold since I was 15 years old. And the reason why I bring him out here is because he's a household name, Terminator, and a kindergarten cop and twins and what have you. And I wanted to let you know that yes, Arnold had determination. He put a lot of hours in at the gym, but he also was pharmacologically enhanced. I was not. I have not been pharmacologically enhanced for 46 years of my working out. When I moved to Stratford, Connecticut in 1967, before I went to grammar school, it was a small little town. When I went to grammar school in 1969, and kept on going, I used to get called Dirty Jew, kike, rocks thrown at me. Many times I would not be able to play in a baseball game or football game, but that's neither here nor there. At around 14 years old, I injured my back. And my doctor said you ought to do some sit-ups and what have you. And that got to me. And I thought about the kids who called me those names. And that was my steroids. That was the juice that propelled me to where I am today. Because I believed at 14, and I read about it, about the Spartan way of life. A strong body, a strong mind. A strong mind, a strong body. And you combine those two. And through my life, I have done that. When I began training, when I was 15 years old, 14 and a half, 15, actually I was 14 years old, with Angelo Fischetti. What a wonderful human being he is. I asked him if I could use his name because he was the very first person I had ever used as a training partner. He was a Marine at the time. I think he was 20 some odd years old, and I was around 14 going on 15. And he said, "Daryl, remember this, a strong foundation will bring you, physical attributes as you keep this up, and you have to keep it up." So I started to love weightlifting. He and I would work out at a small little gym in Stratford. And we worked out, and then the gym closed, like back in the late 70s, early 80s. You'd open up a gym, it'd attract people like fish. They'd come in, and within 2 or 3 years, that gym would close. I continued on, and my goal was to make it into the Mr. America. That is what I wanted to do. That was my achievement, and my achievement was this. I wanted to do it without drugs, without steroids, because when I was 15 years old, I happened to call a bodybuilder. He gave me his home phone number and all that. And I asked him about Arnold because he competed against Arnold. And this person said, "Daryl, I'm not at liberty to say." Now, I was going on 15. I was 15 years old. When somebody says I'm not at liberty to say, that's the first thing. It's almost like when politicians or anybody says, "I'm completely transparent." When they say that, they're lying. Okay? That's what I've gathered in my almost 12 years in business. So what I did was I worked out. In 1982, I competed in the Fairfield County East Coast Classic. I wasn't training with him, but the only other Jewish kid was Andy. and he was doing some stuff, so to speak. Nobody will know who this man is. Only the people that were close, and most of them are gone, sadly enough. And Andy doesn't live around here anymore, so if he ever sees this, it is what it is. I placed first in Fairfield County. I placed second in the East Coast Classic. Andy and I got together because he said, "Daryl, are you doing anything?" And I said, "Doing anything steroids?" I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just thinking about all those kids who teased me." So I kept on going. And he and I started to work out together because we were training for a contest in September of the same year, 82. We did, went into that contest. There were three of us. There was Todd, Andy, and myself. Todd was the adult. He was doing some stuff. I won't, stuff means drugs, okay, steroids, whatever. And he placed first in his height class. Now, I was always told at the different contests I went into, "Daryl, if you do steroids, you'll be big. You'll be better than Franco Columbu. You will be good. You'll be 250 pounds at your height." At this contest, when I was now 19 years old, I was 19, I was still a teenager, I was really thinking about it. I was debating about it until what happened to my buddy Todd at that contest. He was in the adult class. He placed first. He lost overall to the promoter's nephew. I'll never forget what Todd said. He came up to me and he said, "Daryl, the end doesn't equal the means. The end does not equal the means." And he was correct. He was absolutely correct. The politics, and I said, "Hold on a sec." He said, "Daryl, I had to do X amount of dollars for these drugs to win a $15 trophy. Does that make sense to you? And to lose through politics." Now, Todd looked good. And I'm not saying it because, I knew him. I just looked at the competition. The person who won him didn't even have color, didn't have a tan, the promoter's nephew. And I thought, hold on a sec. You have Major League Baseball, football, basketball, you name it. And we've heard time and time again about many of these sports players taking drugs. They're making millions of dollars. What the heck? But it's disgusting. So I kept on competing after 1982 up until 1987. When I said enough is enough. The guys like Arnold, yeah, they work out hard. He worked out hard. But when you're doing pharmacological drugs to get there, you're already cheated. So I'll make a proposal. What they ought to do with his statues all over the world is either put a hypodermic needle or a bottle of pills or a pill bottle on that platform, on that statue, they ought to remove Arnold's statue and put in either a hypodermic needle or a bottle or both, because that's what got him where he was. Yes, it was grit. Yes, it was tough. But he did not do what I did, okay? He had to do it, and they'll say, "Well, at that level, you have to do it." Well, I made it to that level. When you're making it to the Mr. America, that is going after. The next stage is the Olympia, the universe. So you have to do steroids, and I did not do it. I was not Arnold, nor would I be. So I took a hiatus from 1987 to 1995. In 1995, I went back into competition. A friend of mine said, "Daryl, why don't you go in?" And I competed in the Mr. Connecticut. In the Mr. Connecticut, we were talking the second place winner and the third place winner, me at that time. We're talking about the first place winner, who you could tell was remarkably bigger than all of us. And we discovered about a week later, we received a letter. And here it is. I'll read it to you. It said, 1995 AAU Connecticut Bodybuilding Championship. Daryl, due to a polygraph failure, you will move up to the second place. Congratulations. I would like to make the trophy switch at 6 p.m. on 6/18 at my house. I took my trophy and I won second place, but the lackluster of trading the trophy with the promoter on a dead-end street was very lackluster. So what I did, I kept on going. I made my choice. because I had an opportunity to go either into the Mr. America or Mr. USA or both. And I decided to go into the Mr. America. And here is the medallion that I received. Right there. So that if anybody questions, I made it there. And I did it. I made my goal. Without drugs, just being propelled from those kids in grammar school. Dirty Jew, kike, getting kicked at. And do you know, here I am standing in front of this camera today at 60 years old. And here I am, without drugs, in the Mr. America bodybuilding competition. Here I am, and here's Arnold. I know it's a different pose, but you know something? When you have the natural steroids of being called names flowing through your veins, there is a difference. So I'm going to leave it here for you ladies and gentlemen and my fellow citizens. I wanted to tell this story because Angelo Fischetti was the foundation of what made me who I am. I still work out every day. You can pass by my house and I'll be working out with the weights outside. I do this to let you know that you don't, and I mean you don't have to cheat to get there. You do not have to cheat to get there, and he cheated. And people will say, "Daryl, you're disgruntled." This is not jealousy. This is a fact. You know, Thomas Paine, I love it when he says, when speaking the truth, it is many times like administering medication to the dead. And, you know, many times for many years, he didn't admit to doing steroids. And I've got, by the way, down below in the description, you'll find those videos where he's getting interviewed. You'll find those articles where he's getting interviewed and confessing this. And I will leave it here. I do this as a symbol to those people who have died from taking those drugs. I've known many of them, and I am still standing in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still standing in front of you at age 60, still working out, still listening to those kids call me those names. And it made me a better man. My telephone number is 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. If you need me to give a seminar or speech, I will gladly do it. I've done it before for Boy Scouts throughout the state and for other different organizations. I'll be there. Just give me a call. 203-556-1493, and I thank you.